What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
How are you today, sir?
Okay, how's it going?
Fine, thank you. Thank you, sir. You gonna pay for that or what?
Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.
All right, welcome back to Misfit Island. This is where all the misfits gather, prepare for perilous times. We're seeking truth in a world that's full of deception. And how do we do that? We do that by reading the Word of God. That's the only way you're going to figure out truth, is by reading the Word of God. So, yeah, yesterday, had my little tangent. I didn't pray before it, so I see more flesh than you did spirit, and my video yesterday. So we're all prayed up and we're ready for Hump Day Wednesday. And I said yesterday I'm probably going to do my Tasty Tuesday today because I didn't get a chance to go in the Book of Revelation, my favorite book in the Bible. So yeah, we're going to go in that today. And this week I'm only going to do 3 videos, so you only get to see my mug 3 times this week. Maybe you'll miss me on Thursday and Friday. Oh, you gonna miss me? No milky for the babies. We didn't even get into the Book of Lukey. So yeah, we're gonna dig into some meat today, some tomahawks. It's like a heavy metal day for us. Oh my God, this guy listens to heavy metal. You know what? When you become a Christian, no matter what you've done in your past, it's like it's a part of you. It's who you are. Why be fake? We've gone over several parables in the book of Luke about, fake people versus people who are legit. God's judging our hearts. He's not judging by, what we've done, if you're never going to become perfect. You're not, there's never the perfect time to accept the Lord in your life. Quit walking around, thinking you're, holier than thou, because we're, in Isaiah, the Lord says that we're all like filthy rags. So anybody that thinks they're up to D, and they're looking down at their nose at you, thinking because I do this and I do that, oh, you do this and you do that, oh, I'm better than you. Run to the hills. What an awesome concert that was. Marine Corps in Irvine Meadows, California. Iron Maiden and Wasp. Back in like 80, maybe 85? Man, it's probably one of the best concerts I've ever seen. I've been to over 200 concerts. Yes, and oh my God, he's been to concerts and he listens to heavy metal music. And did you see those paintings? Ooh, you see the one I did on there? That's my very first painting. I did that like in 1991, maybe. I remember when I do all these little like 11 by 16s or little tiny. I was like, oh, am I gonna paint? And then I remember when I bought my first like big canvas. Just big white. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? 30 years later, you've seen a little bit of it, and it's all fruits of my life. I'm an artist. And, I'm a visual guy, and the Lord still loves me. He still loves me. And he's not going, oh my God, you painted an evil painting, because that was probably, I don't know. I don't know. For me, I want to paint things that are interesting or different and visual, and to paint a flower. I've done that too, and I've done butterflies and all that. But I don't know. I just want something. A lot of my stuff is, well, I guess early on, a lot of my stuff was like, my wife now says, she's like, he was a sad person. Looking back, I was a sad person. And, so a lot of my stuff now is like religious and political. If you haven't figured that out yet from my past videos. You know, I mean, you can't not be a Christian and not be political, because politics involves your life. You know, it involves all of our lives, and it's, you know, you can't hide from it, you can't run from it. But anyways, we're going to dig into the book of Revelation, if you remember. The introduction, you know, I'll give you a little overview before we go back into it, all right? So the key verse in chapter 1 is where he's telling John to write these things which you have seen, the things which are, and the things which will take place hereafter, after this. It's kind of like an outline of the entire book of Revelation. And I told you, I believe it's chronological. He'll step out and give you, you know, overview of something and come back in and start back where he left off. And he's going to give you more details, or he'll give you an overview of the whole thing and come back and give you some more details. But I believe, from my studies, I can prove that it's chronological. And it's, you know, so chapter 2 and 3 is about the church age. The literal church was there at the time. He wrote a letter to them, and, you know, admonishing them the things they was doing wrong and giving them praise for the things they did right. And some churches did nothing right, and some did nothing wrong, or one did nothing wrong. And you know, they literally can take church history and follow the first letter to Ephesus all the way to the last letter to the Laodiceans, and it literally fits the history of the church age. And we are definitely in the lukewarm church right now, the Laodicean church, and yes, that's not going to be good for all of those guys. And then chapter 4 shows like, remember I told you that God is prophecy is, I'll tell you this, and it's going to happen here. That's prophecy. But another prophecy is, I do things this way, this way, this way, and this way, and in the future it's going to be done this way, this way, and this way. So this is one of those prophecies that, by pattern, when you're looking at the end of the redemption plan, this greatest love story ever written, the book of Revelation, chapter 4 is John is taken from Patmos and he's thrust into the throne room of heaven. You see the crystal glass. You know, this is the pattern typology of the church being taken out pre-rapture, or it's pre-trib. There's, you know, the church doesn't go through. The bride of Christ. There's titles for Christians: the bride of Christ, the church. There's probably others. Those the main two dealing with Revelation. And he's not going to beat up the bride and come back, and then kill everybody, do all the fulfill the final prophecies, and while the church is still here. You know, and the reason why people take Scripture and they build these theologies and these false doctrines and these false beliefs is because they're not reading the Word, one, and they're manipulating and twisting a line or a verse or a chapter to fit their you know. But if you, like I said, if you go in this and you clearly pray, ask the Lord to reveal it to you, and you just read it and take notes. And if you don't get it, go back and read it again. Take notes and try to figure it out. You know, I think you'll come to the same conclusion. It is chronological, and these four, you know, well, anyways, I'll get to that in a second. But anyways, it's chronological. So anyways, it's the type. He's in heaven. Chapter 5, the Lamb takes a scroll where he's going to start judging mankind. Then you got chapter 6 with the seals, you know, the famous 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, when there's actually 5, and I believe they're literally, it's not a literal horse, but it's a literal ruler or somebody that's in charge that's trying to, you know, like I said, when the rapture happens, the world's going to be a mess. So this guy comes along and he's trying to fix it without war, without a weapon. He's got a bow but no arrow, and you know, he's trying to put together the chaos. And you got the people that's left behind that didn't, you know, the fake Christians and all that realized that the rapture was true, and oh my God, these crazy Christians that are gone, it was right, and it was the Lord, and they're going to try to, you know, and they're going to go around. They're not going to give in. They know that, you know, now they're probably going to have Bibles and they're going to be reading this or watching these videos if they last, and they're going to be telling everybody what I'm telling you right now. And so then the second horse comes along, and he's the fiery red, and this horse is granted to take peace from the earth, and that people should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword, which the sword is a lot of times it's a word, like these great words. Hitler. This guy's going to be given. So he's basically going to he's given the power for people to kill people. So and you see like in COVID, and they're not wearing a mask, and they didn't get their shot, and if you don't get your shot, you can't go to the store. And you think that was bad? Wait until this time comes up. These crazy Christians. There's a Christian. There's a Christian. There's a Christian. Mothers turn against sons. Sons turn against fathers. Everybody's going to be turning everybody in. This is going to be chaos. Kill, 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 kill. And then the third horse is, he's going to give this power to hold back the food and don't harm the oil and the wine. And, I think it's far deeper than the rich people on earth, but maybe it's just the rich people. I don't know, but I think there's definitely. But anyways, there's going to be famines. We're going to, you got all these people that are dying. They're not going to be able to farm their lands or whatever. So there's no food. So now people are going to be starving to death. And then you get the two riders that come along, the pale horse, the death, and then Hades followed him. It says power is given to them. They're not on a literal horse, but and I think there's something spiritual about that, because these horses, and like we come back on horses, Jesus is on a horse, so there's definitely something spiritual with this, this horse. I don't know. There's a deeper study. Oh wait a second. I forgot I had that on it. It's so hot today, and I'm sweating like a pig, as they say. And so, anyways, sorry about that. Probably it's really noisy, huh? Oh well. It's the noise is not the point. The message is the point. So, anyways, the fifth seal. So now you have another group in heaven, the martyred saints, and they're saying, "How long will you revenge our Lord, or revenge our blood?" And he's saying, "Wait a while. There's a bunch more that's coming after you guys." So again, chronological, and everybody's on it. So so this what's going on. It's chronological. Then the sixth seal says he rolls back the heavens, the stars fall to the earth, which is not literal stars. And I probably should do a word study on that and see what he's talking about, the stars, if it's angels or what. But as I was reading it, it's like maybe the Lord is rolling back the skies and the people can see the throne room of God, and they know that God and the Lord is judging them, and because they're saying, "Fall on us, rocks," and who can stand against God, and so that right there literally tells you the Antichrist isn't on the scene, because I read that yesterday. We'll see in chapter 13 where they're going to say the exact same thing about him. So then chapter 7 is like an overview chapter, and actually I think this is an overview, but it's talking about what's going to happen right before the Great Tribulation. He seals the 12 tribes of Israel, and 12,000 each one, 144,000. You see them in chapter 14, which I don't think I think the 7-year tribulation, and then I have this whole theory of gap, with patterns and prophecy. That's a minimum 7 years. And I think it's why a lot of prophecy teachers can't figure out all these passages that don't fit and they don't understand, is because they're trying to fit everything into 7 years. Just because they can see the foreshadow of how the beast system is going to work with this monetary system, and no more cash, and nobody can buy and sell this. And so they see all these things, how the beast system is being built, and I go, well, it's almost here, so it's the 7, you'll see the 7. And they go into this diatribe of what they've been taught for 10, 30, 40 years, whatever, and they regurgitate it out. And I seriously believe there's the minimum 7 years, if not 40, for all this madness to take place. I mean, that would fit with the typology and the patterns of prophecy and how he's dealt with the Jews. Because when the church is taken out, he's no longer dealing with the Gentile nation. He's dealing with the Jewish nation. And all the time, and every time that the Jews turn away from God and start worshiping false prophets, God always uses men and their enemy to bring them to their knees, and they come back. And a lot of times you're dealing with 40 years, 40 days, 40 years, all over the place. So when we're taken out, the Holy Spirit and God is dealing with the Jewish nation again, and the Jewish people, and he's going to bring them to their knees, and they're literally going to say Jesus Christ was the Messiah, and they're going to pray for him to come back, and that's when he comes back. Now, 40 years fits that pattern, and I mentioned it with Noah and how the door was closed on the ark, and it didn't rain for 7 days. But he's, because he said, Jesus was talking about the days of Noah, and he wasn't talking about people eating and marrying. That's been going on ever since. I think he's talking about people don't believe like they don't believe today. And he said, and he mentioned Lot too. And you look at both of them, what's going on, the depravity of the fallen angels, and said every man thought evil continuously. And then Lot, in those 5 cities that was destroyed, not just Sodom and Gomorrah, it was actually 5 cities, that the same thing. It was debauchery and just the sexual immorality, and just and it was also as another the mighty men from Genesis 6 was in that area during that time. The mighty men, the renown of old, was here before and the hereafter. There's so much on this planet, like these mega monoliths that are buried from the flood, that are buried, and these things that they hide from us, these pyramids and these languages and stuff, which I think is going to be a part of the deception. There is so much that's hidden that they won't let us know. Actually, people don't even want to know. They're so busy worrying about TikTok or whatever. I don't know. I mean, whatever the fad is today, smoking their weed and playing video games. I mean, whatever keeps their mind. Like I did my thing. Sleep. Everybody's sleeping. You take those glasses and put them on and look at and see. So, anyways, then we went into chapter 8, the seven seals, and there's the sixth seal, and then the 7 trumpets, and then we go to the first 4 trumpets, or like the judgment of the third, just killing. And I said, I don't know how it plays out, if it's worldwide or if it's like I said, if he takes out this whole Western Hemisphere of Canada and America and Central America and South America, that would be like a third of the grass, third of the sea, or a third of the trees, and I don't know how it's going to play out. It could be just a force in Russia and a force in America that equals a third. So now, and then he says, remember the angel flying in heaven? He's like, whoa, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the remaining blast of the trumpet of the 3 angels who are about to sound. I was reading ahead. I don't know where the third woe is at. I couldn't find it. Anyways, we're getting ready to go into the first woe. Are you ready? Right, here we go. Chapter 9, verse 1. Then the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fallen from heaven to the earth. To him was given the key to the bottomless pit. Remember? Over here in chapter 6, this talks about the sky receded as a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. Key. Before that, I looked, and he opened the 6th seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black and sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its late figs when it's shaken by a mighty wind. And I said, stars. So I think 1 star, the planet would be over. And this is saying stars. And over here, he's saying a star fell from heaven, and he was given a key to the bottomless pit. So again, I believe that's probably angels falling. Now we're getting a bunch of supernatural things going on the planet. And after all this madness happens, and like their says they're hiding in their caves and stuff, and wishing the rocks would fall on them. How long will it take for these people to finally come out of the caves and go, whoo, we survived that, and then try to get things back to normal? Might take a while, right? And so that's why people 7 years, they can't. How you can fit that into the 7-year period? Those 10 kings and the beasts and all that's not even on the site in the picture yet. They're not even here yet. So now they're coming out like, whew, we survived that. Nope. All the thirds, so maybe they're like just blowing up, and their whole yard's burnt and the tree's gone. I don't know. I survived that. And they wake up, what's going to happen today? Where's my pipe? I need to smoke my weed because I can't take it anymore. And then I got to deal with this. You do not want to be here during this. Do not want to be here. So anyways, this angel is given a key to the bottomless pit, and he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. So somewhere on this planet, and some people believe they know where it's at, this pit is going to be open, and this is going to be like a volcano. Smoke's coming out. And then it'll probably be like, I don't know if the news will be there, I hate to mention CNN Live, I thought that they got to be gone by then. whatever national news. Maybe it's like a One World News was a one. So oh no, there's already an OWN out there. Something. So like smoke, a great furnace. Still in verse 2. So the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. It's so hot in here, my glasses keep sliding down my nose. Just thought I'd let you know that. You feel sorry for me? You need some milky. Anyways, back to Revelation 9, verse 3. Then out of the smoke, locusts came up upon the earth, and to them was given power. So there's all kinds of places where saying Satan or the Lord is holding these demonic beings and is holding himself until they're going to be used later. I don't know if this is them or not, but these guys were given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. Have you ever been stung by a scorpion? That is not a good feeling. They were commanded not to harm the grass of the earth, or any green thing, or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal of God on their forehead. So, well, we already seen a third of the trees and grass and all that's gone, and the grass, so maybe it is Central America, the Americas, and then now we're over here, but they're saying these beasts can't destroy the grass or the trees, and I think that's just to let us know that they're not a literal locust. These are demons. These are demons being released, and they're going to go out and torment men. So, if you don't believe and you survive through all this madness, which your probability of odds of that is not very good. So, if you're here at this time, now get ready for this. Whew, you're going to love this one. They were commanded not to harm the grass, the earth, and the tree. Okay. Those men who have the seal of God on their foreheads. Now, is this like the people that believe, like the Christians that are still here? They're not even Christians, they're tribulation saints. Total different group. They're saved by the same thing that we're saved by, faith in what Christ has provided for us. Now, is it these, or is he talking about the Jewish, the 12 tribes of Israel? I don't know. Maybe it's both. But somehow these beasts are going to know that they have a seal on their forehead, and I believe it's something. It's a spiritual. It's not like a literal, like a stamp or a tattoo. It's something spiritual these demons can see. You know, like these dimensional things. Like when you believe or whatever, I think that there's something that changes in your body. It's not just like where your eyes are opened. You're sealed now, and it's a spiritual sealing. And I think the angels, the demonic angels, and the good angels all can see it. You know, Jesus, God, the whole this angelic realm that we can't see, this seed war. I believe that these people can see the seal on us right now, and that's why they can't mess with us, and they can't mess with the people during this time. And again, I think it's chronological. And you've already had all this stuff happen back here with the seals open, and the horsemen, and then the judgment of the thirds, and now we're going to the next phase. This beast system and the beast and these 10 kings and the little horn hasn't come yet. It's not here yet. I mean, they're trying to tell you that you're going to see the beginning of that time. You're going to have 2 witnesses in Israel, and they're going to go around. They're going to preach the gospel, tell people to turn, and they're going to be able to bring fire. Nobody can kill them, and they're going to be able to fire from heaven to be able to destroy these guys. So you're saying these guys are doing this teaching. You got the 10 nations are rising up, and they have power in the world, and this little horn's coming up during. So you got chaos of wars and famines and grief and earthquakes and mountains moved out of the place, and now you got these demons going around stinging people for 5 months. All this stuff is going on, and they're over here building this kingdom, and people are going, oh, I mean, so when this stuff is going on, do you think that people are like watching the news going, oh, I really like this guy as he's speaking, and he's really great words, and I like him, and he's rising, he's got power now. Then look at the 10 kings, and all this chaos is going on, and you think people are sitting around, watching CNN at night? I don't think so. All this, like I said, you got to put. There's a gap. This gap period is a minimum of 7 years, And just because of typology and patterns, it could be 40 years. But what better way to get rid of all the people to where they forget all this stuff? They forget about the Christians. They forget about the truth. Like Israel is finally going to be at peace, where they feel at peace, like nobody's going to kill them, and their walls are all taken down. And then they do have a war. They take the weapons of that war and they burn energy for 7 years. So think of the Jewish nation today and their mindset. Ever since day one, their nation has been founded. They've had all the enemies trying to rise up and destroy them. And you got the whole world doing it again. You got these clowns over here in America, to the river, to the sea. They have no clue what they're talking about. I guarantee they have no clue what they're talking about. But they're out there like, seals, learning from these misguided, or at the least, or demonic possessed or demonic influenced Satan worshipers, Luciferian teachers and college administrators and all that. And they're ripping these kids off. But anyways, so all this, like this stuff, so the last 7 years, and they rebuilt the temple, and the Jews are at peace, and what I was getting at, that's been going on from the beginning. And when we see in these last days, or in the last 7 years, or the first 3.5 years, the Jewish people are at peace, and they think everybody loves them. How long, for the mindset that they have right now, how long would it take for them and their mindset to actually let their guard down and feel safe? I'm talking time frame. A couple months? A couple of months between, there's a little gap of maybe a couple of weeks, and then the Antichrist comes along and says, no. Just critically analyze it and logically think and read, and you'll see there's a time frame here. It's got to take time for this to take place. And like I said, the Jewish calendar, and it's got the Jubilee year, and there are all their prophecies. And they said the prophecies, and the guy Ken Johnson that has the BibleFacts.org. He teaches it all the time. But on that calendar, they're going to go into the last 50 years. That will work perfect for my theory of the 40-year gap period, because you'd have the last 50 years. So say you have 40, then you got 7 years. You're missing 3 there somewhere. But it fits in there somehow. And I think it says, their prophecy says, because it makes it 6,000 on the calendar, makes 6,000 years. And I think it says it comes in their prophecies about that 6,000 years. He comes back during that time. It doesn't say it has to go the whole 50 years. So anyways, those are logically things that I read and think about and say, okay, there's a lot more time in between this. And I think I try to ask these guys I watch all the time. I ask them questions, they don't answer them. I don't know if they want to answer them, they think I'm like crazy or whatever, but if they just go back and read it again, and without their presuppositions, and start reading and think about all these things that's got to take place, that it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in 7 years. There's no way this stuff will fit in 7 years. So anyways, these demons that come out of the pit of the earth, this big furnace, these have power like scorpions. And it says they were commanded not the grass and the earth or any green thing or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal were commanded not to harm. But only those men who do not have the so they can only harm so they can't harm the trees or anything. The only men they can harm is the ones that don't have the seal of God on them. So if it's talking about the 144,000, or if it's just talking about the tribulation saints and the 144,000, I don't know. It doesn't say. So, and then it says, and so in verse 5, and they were not given authority to kill them, but to torment them for 5 months. So they can't kill them either. Just torment them. If I'm telling you, if you've ever been stung by a scorpion and you're getting tormented for 5 months, these guys, say I gotta go to work so I can, I don't know. At this point in time, I don't know how society is going to be. I do not know. To destroy everything and then rebuild it, or are they rebuilding and coming back? Because I believe Babylon is going to be rebuilt because it says it's destroyed, and people try to say it's New York, and this guy is all about the Statue of Liberty, and that's just the beast system, and he's got a system all over the entire world. They're trying to say it's New York and America. I don't agree with that because they all try to rationalize or say that Israel would never come back, and it literally came back, and the prophecy said it would, and there's prophecies saying that Babylon's going to come back and it's going to destroy that. I think the only way that it can be destroyed in one day, and everybody and all the merchants in the world and the people on the sea and everybody would mourn and look at it from afar off, is it's going to be this big, it's going to be Babylon, and it's going to be literally be the hub, the cloud service hub. Like you got these big buildings all over America that serve, that suck in all the information of everything we're doing and spying on us and all that. They got to have like these, they call it the cloud, but it's literally a big building full of computers, like hard drives or quantum physics drives are going to have back over then. But I believe they're going to build that in Babylon, and it's going to be this entire, I don't know, it might be 100 miles big, 100 miles wide, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, and it's going to be the cloud that controls all commerce on the entire planet. So everybody is getting fat and happy and loving life and living on fat on the hog, and life is good for a couple years because of that hub has set up this system where everybody can buy and sell, and then they destroy it one day and everybody's like, oh, how are we going to buy and sell? Because now there's no system to buy and sell. And people probably depend on the system and not growing their own food or whatever. So that's what I believe, but I may be wrong. Who knows? So it goes on. It says after it says torment them for 5 months. Their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it strikes a man. Like I said, that is no picnic, no siree. Verse 6, in those days, men, so this is like one of the weirdest, you want to talk about Freaky Fridays, this is one of the weirdest verses in the entire Bible. But I don't know, you start looking at technology today and how they're trying to say they're going to have these, like you've all know Harari and Elon Musk and all them, how they're trying to like, do the same lie where you can live forever, and they're going to try to do it with like computer chips or something. So maybe they invent something by this point in time. Maybe they've invented something where men can't die. They can't die. So I don't know. But it's saying, in those days men will seek death and they will not find it. They will desire to die and death will flee from them. And now, I wrote way back in the day, it's like, this is the real Walking Dead. So, imagine. So say you're getting stung and stung and stung, and say you got 20 stings in. I got stung on my pinky. I was doing this, working for this company that did roofing and stuff, and I was picking up all the trash from the roof, and I took my glove off, and I picked up a big board, and there was a scorpion in there, and it stung my pinky, man. Or it was actually this pinky, and my entire arm went numb. My pinky, it hurt. It hurt so bad, and literally, I couldn't feel this part of my arm for like 2 weeks. Now imagine these guys stinging you for 5 months all over your body, and you're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. Well, here it's saying you can't die. So you got people walking around with a hole in their head and they can't die. I don't know. Maybe not. So verse 7, the shape of the locust was like horses prepared for battle. So there again, it's something with horses. We ride back on a horse. These men have power, or like I said, they're riding a horse. The beast, the woman that rides the beast, it's like I think it's a beast. Actually, I don't think it's a horse. But yeah, something with horses. There's something going on in the spiritual realm with horses. It says in Revelation 19, we come back on horses with Jesus. Are we gonna have like a horse to travel on? It's like when I go back and forth from New Jerusalem and to the earth during the millennial period. Am I going to come back on my horse? I've never rode a horse, man, so that'd be pretty cool. So they were like horses prepared for battle. On their heads were crowns of something like gold. So something like gold was on their head. Their faces were like the faces of men. They had hair like women's hair. So these things, they got this crown of gold. It looks like gold. They got faces that look like a man. They're on this horse. It looks like this horse is prepared for battle. It says their hair. So they got like what I'm going to have. I'm resurrected. I'm going to have this long, heavy metal hair. So when you see this guy there, well, we probably won't be doing that. That's my flesh. But I'll be worshiping the Lord with long, heavy metal hair, flowing. I don't know. I'll probably be bald up there, same as I am down here, because we're going to have our same bodies. I mean, we're not going to it's going to be glorified, but it's going to be us. We're going to know who we are. So it says, and their teeth were like lion's teeth. So these things, like a lion. They had breastplates of iron. So these demons got these breastplates on them. It's like an iron breastplate, and the sound of their wings. So when these demons they got wings when they're flying, it sounds like it sounds like chariots and horses running in battle. So I mean, I don't know. What's that movie with was it Ben-Hur when he's like they got the horse race and the chariots? So just imagine if you ever heard a bunch of horses running at the same time. It's pretty powerful sound. But that's what these things are going to sound like when they swoop in on and they're stinging everybody and they want to die. It's not going to be good. So imagine you're like, man, did you see on CNN, as you're drinking your coffee, did you see on CNN, there's like these little pieces that came out of this pit and the smoke, and they said these things are actually, breaking news at 5 o'clock, these things are like stinging people, and they look like it's pretty painful, and all of a sudden you're sitting there, and you look over and you see this swarm of demons coming at you, and not going to be good for those who are left behind. So it says the tails are like scorpions, and they were stinging their tails. And their power was to hurt. Oh, I already read all that. I read all that. No, I didn't. So, verse 10, and they had tails like scorpions, and there were stings in their tails. Their power was to hurt men. Oh, yeah, I read that for 5 months, and they had a king over them. That tells you these are not locusts, because there's a passage, Mystery always talking about, there's a passage in the Old Testament that says locusts have no king, and that was there to let you know that these are not locusts. These are demons, and they have a king over them. The king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit. So now there's another angel down in this bottomless pit with these demons. He's their king. His name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Greek, he has the name Apollyon. So, that's letting you know it's for the Greeks and the Jews. So in Hebrew, the Jewish, or maybe the whole, I don't know, do the Arabs speak Hebrew? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. But the Greek would obviously be the Gentiles. And if you translate that, I didn't do a word search. Somebody else did, and I wrote it down in my Bible. It's called the Destroyer. So this guy is called the Destroyer. And then John tells us, one woe has passed. Behold, still 2 more woes are coming after these things. Now that's key. So when you start reading later on, you see these things are going on. This is the first woe. Remember he said, woe, woe, woe. This is the first woe. So yeah, that is not good. And then when he says, when you see all these things that happen, like when you start reading, so you read after this, if you go read this yourself, start reading after this, you'll get to, I forgot where it's at, but it's going to say, this is the second woe. So you know that all this stuff happened to that. And I'll read it next couple of weeks. That all takes place after the first woe, and all that stuff takes place. And then it tells you this is the second woe. And when it tells you the second woe, I think it's actually the mid-trip point. So all this stuff happened in the first 3.5 years? I don't think so. Ooh, I went way long. I wouldn't even pay attention to the time. So yeah, it's Misfit Island. That was a Taco Tuesday on a Hump Day Wednesday. Got a double dose there. Hump Day Wednesday. Tomorrow will be Tasty Thursday, but I'm not going to do it. I'm taking Thursday, Friday off because this is a bad week for America, and I'm sure you're occupied, and oh my God, I gotta watch all these. I just don't have time to watch these videos. Honey. Well, if you're not watching the video, I hope you're reading your Bible, because the deception is thick and heavy. The deception is thick and it is heavy. And you're going to get tossed to and fro, and you're not going to understand anything unless you dig into behind what's really, put your glasses on and realize that they are obey, buy, sell, consume, and the reality of what's really going on. And the scripture is going to help you be able to discern from that. If you're a Christian, and you love the Lord, and you know what He did for you, you paid the price, you don't need to worry, because we are sealed and we are protected, and God will look after us. And the rapture, He said, when you see these things, look up, because that's all, in the Gospels. He's telling them, when you see all these things taking place and they come more intensified and more intensified, like a woman giving birth, don't worry, look up, I'm coming back. And all these things are intensifying, and what you've seen this week with Trump, it's just the beginning. They are not going to stop. They are not going to stop. I'm telling you, it is a spiritual warfare. It's a seed war, Satan's war against the seed of the woman. And these people are going to destroy this country. They will not stop. They will not stop. I don't know what they think they're going to get afterwards, because they're going to be destroyed in the process. But anyway, that point in time, we'll be gone. So, but I'm not saying we're not going to see some bad times, because all we're promised as a Christian is trials and tribulations. We're not promised Ferraris and mansions on a hill. Nope. So if somebody's teaching you that's a lie. And how you do know that? Reading this. All right. I know it's thick and heavy here, but man, it's real. It's real. I'm not making things up. Go read the word yourself and find out. But yeah, thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys if the Lord tarries, and we're still here. And I guarantee you, by next Monday, there's going to be a bunch of more crazy stuff going on. I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse. But yeah, if we're still here, I'll see you guys next Monday. Thanks for watching Misfit Island.